What's up guys, the car anarchist here. Today we have the ultimate head-to-head Ferrari F80 versus McLaren W1. This is not about which one of them do I prefer or which one of them do you prefer. We are gonna try to come to a quote-unquote objective conclusion as to which one of them is the best overall hypercar. And to do that, we're gonna be matching them up through the three pillars that makes all hypercars. Number one, looks. Number two, excitement value. And number three, performance. And that is in order of importance, okay? Whether we would like to admit it or not, the looks will always be the most important and the performance is actually the least important. Now, does anybody disagree with me that this is the order and this is the hierarchy? Let me know down below. But first, let me say this. If a car is extremely exciting to drive but looks like shit, nobody will care. Also, if a car has extreme performance but is boring, then also nobody cares. Example, Rimac Nevera, bro. Does anybody actually cares that it has 2000 horsepower and the 0 to 300 in like 9.3 seconds? Nope, it's a fucking electric car, bro. Get the fuck out of here. We're also gonna be talking about three key points in this video, and that is the biggest triumph of the Ferrari F80, the biggest problem of the McLaren W1, and lastly, we are going to answer the question, what if the Mission X from Porsche was part of the Holy Trinity? Who would win? Let's go. Starting with the front, which one of them is the prettier car from this angle? Obviously the McLaren W1. But which one of them has more road presence? The F80. Even though the W1 is prettier, the F80 just has the crazier road presence because of its insane dimensions. Now here's the thing, right? If I was driving down the Autobahn and I saw the McLaren W1 on my rear view mirror, I would be like, yeah, there is a supercar behind me. But if I saw the F80, I would be like, bro, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it has to be something special. But even though the F80 has the crazier road presence, it also looks fucking weird at the same time from this angle, so the McLaren W1 still takes the front shot. Before we continue, if you guys wanna see more comparison videos like this, hit that subscribe button, let's go. Now from the side, it's not open for debate. This is a slam dunk for the McLaren W1. It just looks cooler and crazier. Man, I could fall asleep looking at the Ferrari F80 from this angle. It just looks so bland and boring. Like, even for normal supercar standards, this side profile is weak AF, bro. Next. From the rear, this is also not open for debate. This is a slam dunk, but for the Ferrari F80. Now the front and the side profile of the F80 are questionable, but the rear fucking isn't, bro. I think Ferrari nailed the rear of the F80. It just has so much road presence from this angle. It also looks super fucking cool and menacing, and the 6 openings are the cherry on top of the cake that are really nice detail that of course is linked to the V6 engine. Now the McLaren W1 on the other hand looks underwhelming, bro. It just looks like a normal supercar to me from this angle. Like, disappointing to be honest. The Ferrari F80 takes this one. Now the interior is also not open for debate. The interior of the Ferrari F80 looks so much cooler and has a lot more character and sense of occasion. I usually hate Ferrari's interior designs, but I have to be honest, I think they nailed it with the F80. It just looks super cool, different and futuristic. This is exactly the type of interior that I would expect from the ultimate flagship Ferrari hypercar. Now the McLaren W1 on the other hand looks boring as shit, bro. Honestly, it looks like a 50k car interior in terms of design. Like, it looks like the interior of basically every other car out there. It has that stupid iPad style screen in the middle and talk about zero creativity or sense of occasion. Now here's the thing, right? Everyday usability and ergonomics doesn't fucking matter in a hypercar, bro. People who have hypercars have 10 other cars to drive. The only thing that matters in a hypercar interior is that it has to be different and it has to make you feel like you are driving something special. That's it. The Ferrari F80 delivers that, the McLaren W1 doesn't. So let's recap. The front shot, McLaren W1, side angle, McLaren W1, rear angle, Ferrari F80, and interior design, Ferrari F80. Now here's the thing about the Ferrari F80. It is very sensitive to colors and angles, bro. Sometimes you look at it from a certain angle and you're like, you know what? It's actually not that bad. It looks kind of good. But then you look at it from a different angle with a different color and you're like, holy shit, bro, what a disgusting abomination. Because of that, the McLaren W1 still wins the looks category, but I have to say something. Even though the McLaren is obviously the prettier car, I think the Ferrari F80 looks more interesting and makes more of a hypercar statement. Which brings us to the biggest problem of the McLaren W1, and that is that it just looks like a worse version of the P1. The moment I first saw the McLaren W1, I was immediately underwhelmed and disappointed. Let me make a dumb analogy. If the McLaren P1 is an apple pie, then the McLaren W1 is still an apple pie but made with the worst fucking recipe. Now on the other hand, if the LaFerrari is chocolate cake, then the Ferrari F80 is fucking creme brulee, bro. You may love it, you may hate it, but it's a completely different dessert. Which brings us to the next topic, and that is the biggest triumph of the Ferrari F80, and that is that it looks 100% unique and original from every single angle. There is no other car out there that looks even remotely close to it, which cannot be said of the McLaren W1, which has that quintessential supercar look, but now is kind of generic. For example, when you look at the front of the McLaren W1, yeah, it's pretty, but you can think of other supercars / hypercars that deliver a similar type of look. And now we start with hypercar pillar number 2, excitement value. And to do that, we're gonna be taking a look at the sound, the driving setup, and the cool factor. Starting with the sound, yeah, we don't have any real footage of the McLaren W1 yet, just of the Ferrari F80. And by the looks of it, yeah, the Ferrari F80 isn't gonna make much of a sound. I think it's a safe bet that the McLaren's twin-turbo V8 will sound better, so the McLaren takes the sound battle. Now, driving setup. Which one of them would be more exciting to drive? Probably the McLaren W1. It just has that classic setup that is a dream for any petrolhead. V8, rear-wheel drive, and is a lighter car. But I have to be honest, I think the Ferrari F80 has the more interesting engine. There is just something about a V6 hypercar that makes you wonder what it would feel like to drive. Still, the McLaren W1 wins the driving setup. Now, cool factor. Which dude is cooler? The dude who is obviously a Ferrari collector and has an F80, or the dude who drives a McLaren W1? The dude who drives a McLaren W1. The W1 100% takes the cool factor, and it's more exclusive even though it's cheaper, which brings us to a very important topic, okay? Ferrari is charging double the fucking price and they are making double the amount of cars. That is absolutely fucking crazy, bro, because it means they can get away with it. Now, what does that tell us? Well, very simple, and that is that Ferrari as a brand is 10 times more prestigious and glorified than McLaren. Like, bro, it's not even close the difference that the Ferrari name holds compared to McLaren, bro. It's not even close. So, to recap, the McLaren W1 wins the sound, wins the driving setup, and wins the cool factor, which means that it wins the hypercar pillar number 2, excitement value, with a slam dunk, which brings us to the last one, performance. Not only is the McLaren more powerful, but also has a lot more torque. Now obviously, because the Ferrari F80 is all-wheel drive, the 0 to 100 kph is a lot quicker compared to McLaren, but from 100 kph onwards, the McLaren will smoke the Ferrari. Now we have to talk about this, okay? 0 to 100 kph claimed by Ferrari in 2.15 seconds and 0 to 200 in 5.75. Bro, that is so fucking stupid. Cut the fucking bullshit, Ferrari. 1 decimal point is enough, okay? Let's be honest, Ferrari did this on purpose because the McLaren W1 was announced first, so Ferrari is purposely edging McLaren on the 0 to 200 by 0.005 seconds, bro. That is so fucking stupid. Hey bro, what is the 0 to 60 of your car? Pi. What do you mean pi? 3.141. Now downforce wise, yeah, the Ferrari has more. Ferrari claims 1000 kilograms of downforce at 250 kph, while McLaren, they only claim 1000 kilograms of downforce, but they don't specify the speed, which means that it's not at 250 kph, otherwise they would be bragging about it just like Ferrari. Now to wrap the performance, I'm just gonna say this, okay? If I had to bet my life as to which car would lap the Nürburgring faster, I would bet the Ferrari F80. It has more downforce, but most importantly, it has all-wheel drive, which makes a huge fucking difference in a track like the Nürburgring. So overall, the Ferrari wins the hypercar pillar number 3 performance because straight line speed is not that relevant. Now let's recap the entire thing. So hypercar pillar number 1, looks, the McLaren takes it. Hypercar pillar number 2, excitement value, the McLaren also takes it. And finally, hypercar pillar number 3, performance, the Ferrari F80 takes it. But if you remember, looks is more important than excitement value, and excitement value is more important than performance, which is the least important, which means that without a doubt, the McLaren W1 is the best overall hypercar. And now, to finish the video, let's answer the question, what if the Mission X from Porsche was in this battle? What would happen? Well, fucking simple, bro. It would automatically lose just for being fully electric. Like, I don't care about how it would look. I don't care about the performance it would have. If it was indeed fully electric, it would automatically be the worst of the 3, period. If you guys like this video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. The Car Anarchist, I'm out.